Hi, it smells red songbird. I want to talk about this video that Owen Benjamin no, it goes here. The product of boomer parents. Owen Benjamin. It's on the Owen Benjamin channel. He talks about boomer parents and what a disaster they were and what a horror they've unleashed on the world in terms of their children. Also, so I addressed that in my previous video. A mama can't be a father, and a father can't be a mama, which I just uploaded to Mild Red Songbird YouTube channel. But the other part of the Owen Benjamin, this video, which is excellent video, he really speaks from his heart. And he's well thought out arguments he poses. It's really worth watching. It's exciting to watch, to hear all that truth come out like that. So, but what I want to address is something else now. Owen Benjamin, who was President Ulysses S. Grant and General Ulysses S. Grant, says, be a witness. Say something if you see somebody's wrong. I'm going to take his advice and read the piece I wrote about him yesterday. He says, feel it. You got to feel it straight to the bones. I hope he feels in his bones the truth I've written about him. It's deep and it's subtle. So let's get started. Owen Benjamin said Hitler did nothing wrong. When he was Judas, he was one of the ones who killed my husband at that time, Jesus Christ, in the first century, when my name was Mary. When Hitler became Stevie Wonder, he stole my husband, Edwin Birdsong, and he hit our masterpiece album. That's it. What it is, from the black community and from the world at large. Stevie had a Freudian slip, however. He sang, what it is oh so new. And then later on in the song he sang, what it is oh so true. I just called to say I love you. That review is on that song, and I know, having been Freud in a past life, that was a Freudian slip, okay? But that's what he thought of what it is. He liked it so much, he called us. We came to his apartment in Queens. He was living with Yvonne Wright, Sarita Wright's sister. Sarita Wright was his first wife. And he and Edwin became fast buddies and remained friends for 45 years based on the quality of that album. And once he called me, we spoke on the phone, and he said, why didn't Edwin do another What It Is? I said, because Edwin fired the team that made What It Is, What It Was, and What It Is. And that's me, because I was a lyricist, and I was the image maker. This is a image I created with the hair art for his album Supernatural. Alright, so Owen Benjamin, like I said, was President Ulysses S. Grant. He was my husband in a past life. In this life, I gathered photos and wrote details of Hitler, Judas, Snake in the Garden, Stevie Wonder's evils. And I sent it to Owen Benjamin's post office box. I never heard a word back from him. After he said he's so accessible and, it's worth. Well, that's okay. But here's what I'm talking about now. He said Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who had been the poet Saint Mirabai, was a sodomite and a shill. He has been one of the most helpful people in the world to me. What has Owen Benjamin done for the world except constantly bragging about everything he does and his beautiful wife and perfect children? I grew up, I'm holding the camera here because this is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who has taken rebirth as Lou Ranziger, my grandson. Okay, so I grew up a colored, I'm just telling the background so he can understand how important Dr. Martin Luther King was to a large group of people. I grew up a colored girl in Clarksville, a light-skinned colored girl in Clarksville, Tennessee, under Jim Crow laws, as Democrat laws. My mother was the most beautiful woman, colored or white, to ever have lived in that town, according to Joseph Roberts, my high school chemistry teacher, and my boyfriend when I was 12 years old's father, Mr. Gray. And my mother was valedictorian of her middle school class before the schools were dumbed down. You come to think of it, I have a video, it's about a 45-second video on my YouTube channel of my mother, who has been reborn as my granddaughter, Jandara Ranziger, and she's receiving an award on that video. Isn't that interesting? You can take a look at it. It says Jen receives award, something like that. It's very interesting. And you can hear her mother cheering her on. Her mother was my grandmother in a past life. Okay, so my mother was valedictorian of her middle school class before the schools were dumbed down. The light-skinned colored principal, Mr. Allison, taught the faculty and students. This was in the 30s and 40s. You can't be as good as a white man. You have to be better, referring to the higher standards colored Negroes were held to, which just made them better at what they did. Owen Benjamin, podcaster, sometimes comedian, husband, father, farmer, said, "Are you good?" is a question implying that he is good. What's good about destroying the giant with the monumental accomplishment of achieving equality for black people like me? That man is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who is defamed and criticized by Owen Benjamin because he had problems in other areas of his life. Don't we all? I think Owen Benjamin is doing evil to denigrate Dr. King, who changed my life from hell to heaven. Dr. King has been reborn as my grandson, Lou Ranziger, who lives with his 3 siblings, all of whom were saints in their past lives. That's the great saint of Agua, Sami G. That's Sami G. His name is Seth Ranziger, this life. He looks cool there. And that's Lou Ranziger's sister, Jandara Ranziger, who was the Saint Baba Jamal Singh. And let's see, do I have a picture of his other? Let's see, I have a picture here of his sister, Ostara Gloria, who was Saint Kabir, who was also Hiawatha and Chief Sitting Bull. This is Lou's mother, Melanie L. Spear. Did I say her name was Ostara Gloria? Yeah. This is Melanie L. Spear, Lou's mother, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s mother, Melanie L. Spear, who was St. Patrick and who was the explorer, Christopher Columbus, who we all owe a debt of gratitude to, even though, like most great people, he's been smirched and smeared. This is Lou's aunt, Robin Birdsong, who was St. Francis of Assisi. I'm having pains in my right hip. I'm pregnant. I wonder if the babies are going to come today. It's my birthday. Wouldn't that be great for them to be born on my birthday? I really do feel a pain. I wonder if it's the onset of labor. I don't know. This is Lou's uncle, Singbird song. Who did I say Robin was an author who wrote Sneezy the Greasy Baby Says Abigail? And this is Lou's uncle, Singbird song, who was King Menelaus and King Charlemagne and Mozart, George Gershwin, Jimi Hendrix, so many great people. So you see, this Dr. King has been born into family of great souls. I'm just putting these back. So, oh, there's a picture of Robin's book, Sneezy the Greasy Baby Says Abigail. It's available on Amazon.com. I gave her the concept and the title, and she ran away with it. Wonderful rhymes. She was Dr. Seuss in a previous life, and that's Abigail. Was my mother, Jindara Ransinger, was a model for that. And T.J. Robshaw, very, very talented illustrator, did the illustrations. Okay, now, so back to Lou and Dr. King. Back to Lou, who is Dr. King. And so Saint Kabir, in this world run by evildoers, criminals, Dr. King, a saint as far as what he did for black people and other minorities goes. Dr. King and his family live in poverty, the worst condition on earth. You can see he doesn't look overjoyed there. There's some pictures, a few seconds of him bouncing in one of those trampolines, and there's another picture of him talking with a British accent. He's on Mile Red Songbird's YouTube channel. Just a few seconds. It'd be interesting for you to see Dr. King's new body. Okay. Also, Owen Benjamin, who presumes he's good and Freud was evil. Freud was the father of psychoanalysis, and he was a German psychiatrist, Fritz Perls, who, along with his wife, taught the world the nature of reality. Namely, when you're in touch with the present moment, when you're in the present moment, when you're present in the moment, when you're attending to the present moment, there's more than one way to say that, as you can see. You're in touch with reality, which is heaven consciousness, heaven energy. This world, run by evildoers, as I said before, criminals, is mad. Freud, who is also Fritz Perls, who is in the form of the Michelle Birdsong, Mild Red Songbird, was on a journey. He, they, she has arrived at the destination, a cure for madness called Talk and Share. Talk and Share uses the Socratic method of asking questions to arrive at truth. Mild Red Songbird was Socrates. Once at the moment of the realization of truth, in the present moment, even from old traumas, one owns it, admits it, then psychoanalyzes the meaning of the trauma with a clear head, with all the blocking emotions removed. Talk and share. And that's what that means is, if you're whatever is your experience that is making you uncomfortable. For example, if you're afraid, and so then you would see into your mind what you're feeling, and you would say, "I'm afraid," and the fear will go away. Now, there could be many, many, many more feelings and emotions attached to the trauma you're going through. So you would name all of them. I'm terrified. I'm worried. You see, you would name all of them. And as you name them, they go away. Either you digest them or they go back into the collective unconscious. I'm not sure where they go. I know that they are released from you and you're free of those blocking emotions. And that is called talk and share. What I just did, owning the emotions, is called talk and share. Okay, so Socrates was Freud, Pearls, de Michel Birdsong. So to criticize Freud, to condemn Freud, as Owen Benjamin did, because during his past life experimenting, examining his theory before his therapy was perfected as talk and share, was evil doing and short-sightedness by Owen Benjamin, who claims to be smarter than most people. I don't doubt that, but he's not right about Dr. King. He's not right to condemn Dr. King because Dr. King was imperfect. Even Don Lemon said to Joe Biden, don't apologize, nobody's perfect. So Owen Benjamin has no right to defame a man who did such a great thing as to give opportunities to a whole group of people who were being discriminated against. He went to jail for that. He marched in those uncomfortable protest marches. He was attacked by dogs. I mean, he paid a heavy price. And then he got killed. He lost his life, you see. So anyway, this video where Owen Benjamin claims to be good while others are bad is implied. Dr. King and Dr. Freud were criticized and demeaned on previous videos. The video is called, this present video I'm talking about is called Jew Debate. Owen Big Bear Benjamin, he calls himself a bear, versus Andrew Don't Tase Me Bro Meyer. Andrew Meyer is a Jewish person who's debating Owen in this video, and it's very definitely worth watching. It's just amazing, just a wonderful, wonderful video. And Andrew Meyer asked John Kerry a question, and John Kerry had him tased, or the cops tased him. So that's why he wrote a book, Don't Tase Me, Bro. Perhaps Benjamin, what is that word? Reckless, denigrating others, heroes, is because he's an animal. He admits he's a bear. Benjamin, oh my, I'm not going to finish this. Well, let me just keep trying. Benjamin Ulysses S. Grant was Tchaikovsky, who was constantly bragging about his high IQ, wants to deny the evidence that Stefan Molyneux, who was Aristotle, presents on his show about IQ. Free Domain Radio, it's called. Example, Stefan's experts say Ashkenazi Jews have the highest IQs. Einstein was an Ashkenazi Jew. He was Socrates, Freud, Pearls, Eve, Mary, Mrs. Jesus Christ, de Michel Birdsong, Mild Red Songbird, who over the centuries worked hard and who at long last did what no man or woman did. Mr. and Mrs. Jesus Christ diagnosed and came up with a cure for the world's ills, mental ills, including madness. And it can be eradicated with the practice of talk and share. Jesus Christ was Jewish, Japanese, white, Indian, and a Sikh. There's Jesus Christ, Gurinder Singh. Okay. 21st century form. Benjamin thinks he's so good while destroying the credibility of those who have been truly good. They have done good, provided goods, self-awareness to the world. Benjamin as general and President Ulysses S. Grant and the Russian composer Tchaikovsky, and in this life as a role model, has provided the world much good. So he is correct. He is good, in my opinion. But so is Dr. King, Dr. Freud, and Dr. Einstein. Benjamin also denigrates Beethoven for contracting syphilis. Beethoven created symphonies while deaf. This puts his achievements above composers who created symphonies when they had no difficulty hearing, such as Tchaikovsky. I'm probably mispronouncing now. Freud was Beethoven. 2. Lesson. The good should stop tearing down the other good in our society. The more good, the better. Don't you think? Descartes. I think, therefore I am. He was Freud, Einstein, Socrates, Beethoven, Mrs. Jesus Christ, Eve, the Michelle Birdsong, Mild Red Songbird. Owen Benjamin said, if you're smart, you'll grow your own food. As a child, I lamented the fact that my great-grandfather, John Kendricks, had sold his farm to Fort Campbell, Kentucky. Now we, his grandchildren, had no way to grow our own food. I wanted to live on a farm. I lived like in the suburbs. It wasn't a farm area, and it wasn't a city, and I wanted to live on a farm when I was a kid. I'm just saying what it took Benjamin 30 years to realize. Einstein, at 9 years old, knew that it was important to grow your own food. Because of my brain mind, Jesus Christ guided me to discover doing automatic writing and using logos, reasoning, logic, and doing meditation also, which I learned the logos I heard about from the study of mysticism, same place as I learned about the meditation. It was headed by Jesus Christ to reveal the meaning of the intelligent design of creation. You can find Revelations on YouTube, Mild Red Birdsong channel, and Mild Red Songbird channel, Michelle Birdsong channel, and Vimeo Michelle Birdsong videos channel. I was not chosen to know all of these nature secrets that I'm giving out because I went to the right schools. Schools have become indoctrination centers in America. I am and I guess Great Britain. I am to a large extent self-educated. Okay, I did get through all of it. Okay, so I just wanted to tell Owen Benjamin to lay off talking about Dr. King. Dr. King was a hero. Glenn Beck, who was President George Washington, also General George Washington, held a rally some years back on Dr. King's death day to honor Dr. King because Dr. King is Glenn Beck, George Washington's hero, one of his heroes. So stop tearing down good people, Owen Benjamin. That's my advice to you. And if you want to tear down somebody, let's hear about the Rothschilds who run the world, who made our country, the United States, into a corporation in 1871 and uh, loaned the corporation a lot of money using usury, so we can never pay it back, $20 trillion, and which means he holds a bond to American workers. So it's called the Act of 1871. Let's see, I didn't hear Owen Benjamin talk about that. He also owns the same thing in Great Britain. Okay, that's all I want to talk about now. I made my point. This is my old red songbird. I'll talk to you again when Owen Benjamin gets me riled up again. No, he's very interesting. I watch him all the time, but he does sometimes. It runs off at the mouth, as my mother used to call it. All right, so long.